Okay, so we're about to enter into a unit. It takes us out of 2 dimensions and into 3 dimensions. So we need a little bit of a different tool. Sketchpad is not going to suffice for this because it doesn't work real well in 3 dimensions. So we're actually going to use a tool that's called Sketchup. All right, so this is a web-based tool. You're going to go to your web browser. You're going to type in app.sketchup.com. So app.sketchup.com. It's like ketchup with an S. And it'll bring you to like a page like this. Now, my advice is to go in and sign in with Google. It'll ask, hey, you can actually use your GFS account for that. And that's what I'm going to do. And then it brings me to like this throbbing staircase kind of thing. And it's going to do that for a minute while it's loading the app, because it's a pretty sophisticated app. Okay, and it gives me this screen with this weird, like, hey, there's a guy standing there. All right, so this is a 3-dimensional graphing tool. Some might call it a CAD, a computer-aided drafting tool, but we'll look at how that works. All right, so we're gonna get rid of this guy. I don't want him there, but before I do that, I'm actually gonna change things that are going on right now, because right now this thing is set up in its default to take measurements in inches, which is horrible because it's going to give you all kinds of fractions. So to get out of the inch measurements, what we do is we click over here and we say new model, and we pick the simple template for meters, because meters are better than inches for this. Okay, so let's look at this. I still have this guy standing here, and I really don't want him there, so I click on him, and he'll make a box around him, and I hit delete, and there it is. He's gone. All right, so what is this? This is a 3-dimensional drawing tool. What you need to understand here is that on the left-hand side are your toolbars, and on the right-hand side are like your snazzy special stuff. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to build a simple rectangle. So if you look and you click here, it gives you some options. Like there's a rectangle, there's another way of making a rectangle, a circle, a way to make a polygon, a way to make 3-dimensional letters. So I'm just going to start by making a very simple rectangle. And I'm going to draw a rectangle in the floor. So there I have a rectangle. And I want to make this into a 3-dimensional box. So one of the key tools you use here is what is called the push-pull tool. So if you look over here, it looks like this. It says push-pull, and you click there, and it's the first one up here, and it says push-pull. And if I go over to the top of my rectangle and I click it, and then I click and drag, all of a sudden I now have a 3-dimensional box. And maybe I don't want to look at it that way. So another one of the key tools that I have here is this orbit tool. So I click that, and it gives me a whole bunch of options. So if I click the orbit tool, I can click and drag and move my box around so I can see it from different angles. Now, another important tool here is the magnify tool. Okay, so if you look at the bottom there, it says drag cursor to zoom. Up is in, down is out. Okay, so what I do is I put the magnifying glass in the field. I click on it. If I move the magnifying glass up, things get bigger. If I move it down, things get smaller. And I can make it smaller yet. So there's my box. Okay, I have a box. I can rotate, I can magnify. The pan tool actually lets me grab the whole screen and move it around so that I can put it wherever I want. All right, so there's my box. I'm going to magnify it a little bit larger because I'm going to play with the box a bit here. So let's make it a little bit bigger and rotate it a little bit. Okay, so another important tool here is what's called the pencil tool. And I'm going to turn my box into a house. So the pencil tool here, or the line tool, this guy, you can like grab a point there, and I'm going to go up, and grab another point there, and I'm going to come down, and I'm going to make another point there. And it just suddenly made me a triangle at the top of my house. Now that's not a very good roof because it's only flat. But if I orbit my house, oh, that doesn't look really good. It's like bent over, right? So I'm going to back that up. Let's see if I can orbit this in such a way that I can actually see what's going on here. Make a triangle. I want it to go straight up, right? So I go to the midpoint. I'm going to go straight up here, and then take that back down to there, and that back down to there. Aha, now I got a triangle that's going straight up and down. No more bendy triangle there. All right, why did I do that? Because it seems kind of dumb, right? If I grab my push-pull tool, and I grab the one end of the triangle, I can bring that to the other end, and then grab the other part of the triangle, bring that here, and now my house looks like a house instead of just a box. All right, so what do we do there? We made a house kind of thing going on here. Oh, I'm missing stuff here. It's hollow. So what do I want to do? Let's use the line tool again and see if I can't maybe fill that in. There we go. Filled in on that side. Let's go around the other side. Looks kind of hollow over there. Let's fill it in over there too. Okay, I think that's as good as I'm going to get there. That's fine. So let's see. Maybe I want to put a door on my house. So let's say I'm going to put a door on the front of it here. So I grab a little rectangle, drag on the bottom, up and over, and then I grab my push-pull tool and I push it in a little bit. And then I click on the door itself and I delete it. And why did I do that? Well, because now I can like look inside my house. There it is. And maybe I'll put a picture window here somewhere. There it is. Do the same thing. Use the push-pull tool. Push it in a little ways. Delete it. And now my house has a door and a window. Okay, so there's some cool other things that we can do with this. Like, let's say I want to make my house a brick house. Well, if I look over here, one of the things that I have is it says materials. And if I kind of click here, what is this? This is the browse. I want to go to brick cladding and siding, and I'm going to pick a brick, and now my house is looking more like a house. It's brick. Kind of neat. I can turn and do the rest of the house with the brick. Turn it again. Get the last side, brick. Maybe I want to put a roof on there, so I go down to roofing, and let's see, kind of like that there, and now there's the roof. Turn my house again, grab my roofing, and now my house has a roof. Okay, so there it is. And I can look inside a little bit. Maybe I want to paint the walls inside. I don't know, maybe a nice, how about like a lavender color, right? Start painting the walls. Turn it again. See what else we got here. Lavender, bang, bang, right? All right, and maybe the floor, put a wood floor in there. So go back to my textures. Let's see, what do we got here? Window coverings, no, wood, there we go. Get a wood floor, put that in there. All right, so there's my house. Things that I can play around with, right? So I would encourage you to play around a little bit with this. And I could build like a maybe a patio here. Put a rectangle. Let's see. Not there. Let's not do that. Let's turn this, pan it so I can see. Right, I want to build a little bit of a rectangle here on the bottom. And to there. Grab my push-pull tool. Pull that out a little bit. Ooh, that's kind of quirky coming at me. I have no idea what that looks like from above. Let's turn it. There we go. We got a little deck out there out back. Magnify it a little bit less. That's a really big deck. That went too far. So I'll grab my push-pull tool. Maybe, yep. It won't let me push it in. So let's Control Z. And then pull it out. Nope, that's going to pull the wall out. Let's pull the bottom out. There we go. There we go. A little nice deck, right? One of the other things is there is an entire library of components over here. So let's say I go in here and I say I want a car. All right, and I drop down a little bit. I get myself a little BMW, Beamer, put it in there. Oh, I got two of them. Let's not do that. Let's do one. Let's see. Let's try that again. Car, enter, go down, BMW, there we go. And there it is. Let's put that next to my house. And it seems a little small, so we're going to scale it. So we're going to go to the scaling tool here. And it says that if I want to scale from the center, which is what I want to do, I hit Control. And then I grab one of the corners. And there we go. We made the car a little bigger. And there we go. All right, so this gives you an idea of like how easy it is to kind of create with this thing. What I'd like you to do is to do some exploring with it. In class, we're going to do some work where you're going to do some actual measuring with this. So what I'd like to point out is that there is a measuring tool set here. Okay, so there's my car and my house. I'm going to start by building a new sketch real quick to just show you some of the measurement features. So I'm going to go new model. It's to say, do I want to save my changes? My answer right now is going to be no. I'm going to get rid of my guy again. And I'm going to build a rectangle this time of a particular size. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to start a rectangle and then I'm going to type 5 meters, comma, 5 meters. So if you look in the lower right hand corner, that's where my typing is going to go in. And when I hit enter, it makes a rectangle of the size that I asked. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. So it's a 5 by 5 rectangle. I'm going to take my push-pull tool and I'm going to move up a little bit. And then I'm going to type 5 meters. And it's going to make a cube. Because this is now 5 meters by 5 meters. So again, I'm going to zoom out a little bit more and you can see that there's an entire cube there now. Okay, so if you see here, there's like a measuring tape. I'm going to grab that guy. And if I measure across the thing, all of a sudden you'll see, like there it says, ooh, that's 5 meters, which is what we expected. The height, so I click up here, click there, and then down, and that's also 5 meters, which is what I expected. All right, so, well, what if I take the diagonal? Well, the diagonal is telling me it's 7.07 meters. Let's try that again. Along the diagonal, 7.07 meters. Now, why is that? That's actually 5 square root of 2, so do a little geometry there. So let's take that measurement. If you actually click hold the tape roll over one of the faces, it tells you the area of that face, that's 25 square meters, right? Which should make sense. And we'll be working with this over the next couple of classes. So just be aware, tonight and tomorrow in class, I'm going to have you do some playing with this. So you're going to go to app.sketchup.com and try to familiarize yourself with it. Come in with questions, and I'll see if I can be helpful. All right? Thank you.